Airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
The following is a presentation of Learfield. Welcome to Duck Insider.
Our whole athletic department, there's a level of expectations of success.
Throw, catch, touchdown, Oregon.
He can run and slam.
This is back out for a three. Left wing is good.
Deep to right field at the warning track. See ya.
Really excited that we get to rep our Ducks and hopefully come back to Eugene with some championships.
At the buzzer.
We have so many teams that are excelling right now. It's really fun to be a part of.
Give it to me, baby. My house. I'm taking it there.
Huge win for Oregon.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
Hello, everybody. It's Terry Johns in for Joey Mack. He is up in Seattle doing his sunshine dance, hoping they get the game in tonight. As they will. Actually, I looked at the Seattle weather, and it doesn't look too bad, which is unusual for Seattle, where it rains pretty much every day, a little bit anyway, but it looks partly sunny to partly cloudy, heading for a 7:05 first pitch coming up tonight. And I guess 6:45 or 6:50 with the pregame show, usually 15 minutes they do. And I think Jordan Brenner, they drove up together, and they'll be bringing you the dual broadcast team up, again, the Huskies and the Ducks. Softball gets the Ducks next week back here in Eugene. But they're down in Arizona. We will hear from Melyssa Lombardi. We'll hear from Coach Wasikowski as well as a player. And Pac-12 Women's Golf Championships, Eugene Country Club, Monday through Wednesday. Yeah, Derek Radley and Joey Mack got a chance to sit down and talk with Coach Radley, I guess yesterday, was it? Yeah, yesterday, and a recording of that. And one of my favorite guys, if you haven't had a chance to get to know Coach Radley, you need to do it. He is a great guy. So if you go out to Eugene Country Club, don't approach him because he's going to be in his zone. But if you ever get a chance, maybe afterwards, say, hi, Terry says you're a great guy. Because if you do it in the middle of things, yeah, not so great. He's probably a little bit busy, a little bit thinking about some other things. Let's see, what else have we got? We get some football. And as what is it, Joey Mack? You guys were just Tim back at the studio, and you were Scotty telling me. He says, I'll shut up now because we have so much.
Says nobody wants to hear from me.
Yeah, nobody. So you don't want to hear from me. So we're going to get rolling here. We got Coach Wasikowski first, as they're down in Arizona, down in Tucson. I'm sure the weather is pretty good down there. And let's hear from Coach Waz and talking about that series coming up.
Starting. Overall thoughts from Ball State? You guys
actually
took 3 of 4.
Yeah.
How you feel coming out of that series?
Good. They had a very good team, and they're going to win their league most likely. And, I just fielded 3 calls from scouting directors just today alone about a couple of their players, which are, a couple of their pitchers that are really good, as we all saw. So, very good team. Coach Maloney's done a nice job. I was really, you always want 4 wins, but still yet, I thought we played extremely hard. I thought we played well, and, I like where we stand right now.
Saw the news about Adam Meyer. Obviously tough to lose him for the whole season, but I guess not maybe the worst case scenario since he doesn't have to get Tommy John.
No, it was good news, and so we kind of knew that Adam probably wasn't going to be pitching for us this year, and to get the news that we did was good news, and so we were excited about he'll be back with us for next season, which is that's a big positive.
Any updates on will Drew give it a go this weekend?
Yeah, Drew is available, and he'll be traveling with the team.
So will he be in a DH capacity? Are you going to look to put him in the field as well? Or is the field a limitation because he's on his way back? Or
no, he was available to play in the field last week, and it's more a matter of strength in his in his hand from the rehab standpoint. And does it is he back to full capacity yet? As soon as he will be, we definitely want the guy. Before he went out of the lineup, he was our best hitter, and so we would definitely don't want to rush him back, but we're anticipating his return for sure.
What's the schedule for rehab look like, Meyer? And just you mentioned that he's coming back next season. Is that official?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not one of the 30 major league clubs that are probably going to still try to, chuck a bunch of money his way and try to get him to come out a year early right now. But I would still anticipate. It seems as though there's a strong chance that he would be back in our uniform next year. Let's put it that way, and he'll be healthy and everything, and we'll just take his rehab slowly instead of pushing him through it. He could have easily pushed himself and put him at a pretty significant risk for an injury right now, and we're not a fan of that, and neither is he. And so, we're going to do what's best for him.
In terms of this weekend, it's a shorter week because of the holiday and everything, so just shorter preparation. But what do you see from Washington in particular?
Well, I mean, on tape, they've got, we're going to need to neutralize the power. They've got one guy that's got a real power bat that had a really good day yesterday. As a matter of fact, at the plate, I think he was 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs yesterday and home run. Will Simpson, he's got 8 home runs on the year. He's a power threat for them in their order. They've got some arms that are really good arms, which, the Case Matter kid was an 87, 88 guy last year. He's going to throw in game 3 for him. He's up to 95 this year with a very good breaking ball. Their closer's Wraith is having a very good year. He's almost striking 2 guys out an inning. And ironically, he's tied for the second most number of innings. I think 37 2/3 innings is tied for second with him and a starter, and he's got no starts. He's their closer. So they're going to plan on probably pitching him, I would guess, 5 to 7 innings on the weekend out of a relief role. And he's been really good, fastball command with a very, very good slider. They've got probably 3 left-handed pitchers out of their bullpen that have kept some guys off balance and stuff like that. Probably more of a power arm type of a mentality from what we'll see, I think, with their pitching staff. They look like they have some very good arms that can throw hard, and it's probably going to require us to be short to the fastball this weekend.
Coach, we saw Gavin Grant, his 5th home run of the season. I think that's 3 more than his entire career going into the season. What have you seen from him, and how have his off-season, workouts and things like that helped him with the power translating this year?
Yeah, I think Darryl Hunter deserves a lot of credit for that. He's really turned himself into a very strong physical kid. He's a very wiry, athletic-looking guy, but his strength has increased significantly. He's also a guy that, middle of the year last season, took to the analytics crew to figure out what deficiencies were in his swing, and really worked, him and Kasevich really worked to improve their analytics deficiencies on their swing, and they've been able to do so, and so even this weekend when he went, I think it was an opposite field home run and a 2-strike count, that ball was crushed, and it was into the wind, and it still got out of here. For me, Gavin, is you pull for kids like him and Josh and Tyler Gannis's of the world. There's so many of them, but I mean, those guys they've really created a culture here of guys that really want to work hard and appreciate the opportunities they've earned to have here. And I just love being around them because those guys are turning themselves into just very, very good baseball players, and the scouts are noticing.
How about the last 2 series that Anthony Hull has had? Started the year kind of slow, but has really come on the last 2 especially.
Big, strong kid. Happy for Anthony. He was in his own way. That was probably a hard thing for him to do first weekend, is go home to San Diego and play in front of his family and all his friends and everything like that. And I'm sure he probably feels like he didn't handle it as good as he could have. And he's been hot for us lately. Hopefully he can have another very good weekend this weekend. Washington's a good club, and they've got power arms, and so he'll be challenged. He'll be tested. There's a couple of guys that I'm sure they'll bring in out of the bullpen left-handed against him. And Anthony's handled left-handed pitching very well, and so I know he'll look for that challenge.
Grant, you've kept him in the 9 hole all year long. You've kept the catching position in like the 7 or 8 hole. What does it mean to the players to have that ability, the stability to come in every day and basically know exactly where they're going to hit in the lineup every game?
Well, that's a good question. You probably have to ask the players that. I think it's an earned thing. If you're not hitting and guys are not performing very well, that's usually when you see a lineup getting turned over quite a bit and a lot of guys, moving around in the lineup. And we haven't done that. We've chosen to be very patient with our hitters. So depending on, it always seems like there's a hitter or 2 that have had really good weekends. So instead of getting emotional and firing that guy up from the 7 hole to the 2 hole or leadoff spot or 3 hole, we've just stayed consistent and just said, some weekends you're going to have better weekends than others. And showing up every day and getting used to the guy that hits in front or behind you. If we can do that, and we have been able to this year because the guys have earned it, and they've really hit well. And so as they continue to hit well, we'll stay as consistent as we possibly can. I don't really want to rock the boat with these guys so much. I mean, if you look at it, losing your best hitter at the beginning of the season, losing your best pitcher after 3 starts, having your number 3 guy, you haven't seen him all year until this last weekend. He finally got into the mix and threw an inning, but he was hurt with a finger injury over the break, over the Christmas break, and that was Stoffel. And then Mosiello, we finally got back. So for us to be able to, kind of hang in there like we have and still continue to play very well and position ourselves where we are, I'm happy with what the team's done. It's exciting to go back to the field with them every day because these kids want to play and they want to work.
What is the plan then for the third starter? Well, you mentioned Mosiello and Stoffel, so is it Stoffel and Mosiello staying in the pen? Is that kind of the plan, or Ellis for that matter, on the game 3? Or
no, I mean, we'd like to. Jace was supposed to be our third starter going in the season, so we'd like to bring him along as best we can into the third starting spot. That's what we'll do this weekend. And so it being a Saturday game 3 this week, he'll start on Saturday. So it'll be Gordon, Aon, and Stoffel. And we look to try to kind of like the lineup question. Good question. I'd like to get that pitching rotation continued, to get that settled into where those guys know they're starters and they can continue to develop. We've seen a lot of progress there, and that's good. The more progress we can see here down the home stretch, that's going to be important to try to win a league championship.
Try to build them up like an inning a week, so to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to successively, sort of thing.
Oh, I don't know about that. Some of it has to do with stress, level of stress and innings and stuff like that. I mean, last week the goal was just get them on the dirt. This week we can build him up a little bit more for sure. To say it's just going to be an extra inning or 2, I mean, it could. He's built up to where he can go significant innings from an arm standpoint. But Coach Angiero let him make that decision.
There you go, Mark Wasikowski, Oregon baseball head coach, as they are up in Seattle, taking on Washington. Softball is down in Arizona. This guy, he's the setup man. He gets, the bridge between the starter and gets you to the closer of the Colby Summers. All name. With broadcasters, we like to do that, the all-name teams. Rio Britton, let's hear from him.
Rio, how you feeling? Coach mentioned that you had flu-like symptoms, whatever that was last week. How you feeling this week?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. Just those first couple of days kind of had me stuck in bed for a little bit, kind of just healing up. But I knew that we had the 4-game weekend series coming in with kind of a short pitching staff, so I knew that just needed to get healthy and get back out there so we could help my team win.
Your role out of the bullpen has kind of evolved this year. You went from being almost exclusively lefty-lefty, 1 to 2 batters, to now throwing 2 to 3 innings. Just what is your preference, and how has the season gone in your eyes with that role?
My preference is kind of just to get out there and get out. So whatever way the coaches need me, that's the way I'm going to go out there and perform. And so whether it's going out there and getting a couple guys or going out there for a couple innings, my main goal is just to have fun and get guys out.
How did your perception or view of things kind of change or get altered when you're one of the few lefties on the staff, when you're one of the few lefties in the pen, when it's, well, you could say, well, yeah, bring in a lefty specialist for one of those batters, but it's like, yeah, but you may not want to do that because then you are using your only arm for 1 or 2 guys. So to that point, it's like going into the year, did you think your role was going to be just different in that way because you're one of the few lefty arms you guys got?
Going into season, I mean, kind of the fall dictates how we perform in the spring and going into season. So I kind of just, like I said, my main focus is just to go out there and get guys out. I'm not really worried about what position I'm in. I'm kind of just more worried about winning and what we can do as a team to get better each and every day. So ultimately, I'm not really focused on going in for a couple batters or going in for a few innings. It's more so just having fun and going out there and loving to compete.
What do you think has been working for you so well this season as compared to last year and your freshman year?
I think just finding a routine. I think that was the biggest thing coming in last year. I kind of figured out that, like, with this stretch of throwing, 5 to 6 times a week, only having 1 day off, kind of did put a lot of stress on my arm last year. And so I figured that this year I just need to find like a routine that works for me and kind of just dabble into certain things and kind of figure out what works, what doesn't work. And so once I kind of found that middle ground with my mechanics and like working out and stuff, I was able to kind of just build from there and kind of just build the consistency and confidence going from that.
How did you feel after the UCLA series where you went every day?
I was a little sore, not going to lie, but I mean, I felt good, just typical soreness. I was ready to go for this next weekend, just hit that sickness. So, I mean, I'm just ready to compete every time I go out there. So I know for that 3-day weekend, I'm going in prepared, ready to throw 3 days. And so after that's done, then we can focus on getting ready for the next weekend.
You guys have gotten a lot of contributions from multiple guys in the bullpen, including yourself. How do you assess what you've seen from your guys and how important the bullpen has been to this team's success?
Our bullpen is really strong. I mean, we talk about it each time we're out there just waiting to go in. Each one of us is ready to go in and do work. So I think just building off that confidence, building off of each other is what makes us pretty strong.
Have you had a chance to take a look a little bit at the Washington hitters just yet, or is it a short week and haven't quite had a chance just yet?
I haven't looked at them personally just yet. I know we'll have our meeting that we do with our pitchers that will go over them and analyze all their stuff. And so for us, it's just getting ready today with the great practice and then going from there.
There you go, reliever Rio Britton. I want to find out where that name. Got to find out what it has to do with anything. There has to be a tie-in. I remember asking Sedona Prince, and her brother's name is Diego, and I said, "Well, Sedona, there's a Sedona, Arizona, and that's exactly what it was, San Diego and Sedona, Arizona. Anyway, all right, coming up next, we'll talk women's golf with Derek Radley, the head coach, Pac-12 championships at Eugene Country Club, coming up on Monday. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece, and it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Papa, why can't we telegraph while riding a horse?
Son, there ain't no one to blame but Jeffro. He was riding old Betsy the Stallion, tip-tapping away at his telegraph, when blam, ran right into the side of the saloon.
Well, if Jeffro can't do it, neither should you. Don't text and drive.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back, everybody. Terry Johns for Joey Mackey's with baseball up in the state of Washington, up in Seattle. Duck Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union here in the Country Financial Studio. Before we get to Derek Radley to talk women's golf, I want to let you know that Oregon track and field icon, 7-time NCAA champion, I think you all know who I'm talking about, Steve Prefontaine, was inducted today, or will be inducted, into the newly established Collegiate Athlete Hall of Fame for cross country and track and field as a member of the inaugural class. That's out of New Orleans, so I guess that's maybe where the track and field, the Collegiate Athlete Hall of Fame for cross country and track and field will be, I assume, since that's where it's datelined from. But kind of an easy one. There's 30. He's one of 30. If you want to go to Godex.com, there's a story and a whole list. You can see there's some big-time names on there, and he's certainly was big time. I remember getting to watch him. In high school, we'd go watch him, dual meets when they used to have them, and a lot of people thought he was cocky. I never thought he was cocky. I thought he was just confident. The media would ask him, what do you think you're going to run this week? And he would tell them, and then he would go out and do it. And you're like, okay. Anyway, all right, women's golf. Pac-12 championships at Eugene Country Club beginning on Monday, and Joey Mack sat down with women's golf head coach Derek Radley yesterday.
My pleasure to welcome Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach, back into the Country Financial Studio. Coach, we've had you in the studio a couple times. Always a fun time, but I feel like it's more fun when we're previewing postseason. You know, that's always the goal. It's always the goal to have a good standing getting into postseason. Pac-12s are coming up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday at Eugene Country Club. How's the season gone so far? Pretty good?
Outstanding. Extremely proud. We are officially number 2 in the country.
Woo!
Women's golf. I'm so proud of my Ducks. They've been working so hard, building confidence, and I'm so excited to host the Pac-12 Championship here on our home turf. We get it once every 11 years as it rotates from school to school. So really excited for next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
So catch fans up on the schedule, because you and I talked about this last time you were on, that you were strategic with kind of where you went to play, when you played, who you played against, what the field was. Catch fans up on your strategy heading into now the postseason.
Yeah, so we played 4 tournaments in the fall. We kicked off at Vanderbilt. So I wanted us to travel east, and with the time change, as sometimes in postseason that can happen, and I tested them. And we came out and set a historic record. Cynthia Liu, our sophomore, she shot 17 under.
Pretty good.
To open up the season, and the team shot 26 under par at Vanderbilt. So just so proud. And then we had a couple back West Coast after that, and then went to Hawaii, which is always a very, very fun trip that we end our fall. And then this spring to kick off, we went back East Coast to Florida State, and we actually ended up winning that tournament by 14 shots. And so every time I challenged them and we talked about it, they really shined and proved me that they can do it no matter where we are in the country. So really excited to see what we can do moving forward.
Now, the type of course that you play matters, too. We've talked about this a couple times, and it gets you ready for what you could see in the postseason.
It does. So after Pac-12 Championship, there's what's called the regionals. And so for us, there's now 6 regional sites really spread out all over the country. And so different types of grass, different elevation change, different humidity. And so we've really I've battle tested them, so to speak, throughout this season, and they've done fantastic.
You've had some individuals over the course of the season, I think. One week it's one athlete. Another week it's another athlete. You know, just the depth of your team, how would you describe that for fans?
Something I'm very proud of. I mean, I'm proud of them all the time. But, we talk about we have 5 that literally, we play 5 at a time, and I think any one of those 5 could have a breakout week at any given week. And so they have confidence not only in themselves but in each other that they're going to have each other's back. And I looked at the new rankings, the end of the season rankings that came out last night. We have 4 Ducks inside the top 23 individuals in the country.
That's wild.
So from top to bottom, that's the key, is to be consistent. We've had so many top 10 finishes over the course of the season, and I'm just so proud of their efforts and the confidence that they have.
I think there's such a focus in golf at the professional level on just the top 5 in a leaderboard, right? Like, you're watching the Masters, and all you see is the top 5. Suddenly, this McIlroy name starts to show up in there while Scotty Scheffler's running away from everybody. I mean, there's such a focus, I feel like, on the top 5, but in collegiate golf, a little different. If you place 4 in the top 23, you're probably doing something pretty darn good as a team.
Yeah, no question. And I think it just speaks volumes to the program and the expectations that we have. Every day we need to try to get a little bit better, and they're doing that. And from our junior CCT, as we call her, Chin Soo Chen, who finishes 2nd, to Cynthia setting records, to Sophie, who's just recently had 4 top 5 finishes. All of them from top to bottom. So proud.
How much better do they make each other?
It's a great question. You could ask them, but I would say a lot better. And I think that's one of the fun things about college, is golf is so individual. But when you get to come to college, you get to be on a team. And it's different. And for them to have teammates to play fun games at practice, to push each other. Every hole we finish in a tournament, you'll see them turn around and wave to their teammate.
Yeah.
It really is a team environment, and they have to learn that. But Coach Mo and I really try to help them understand what it's all about, and once they buy into it, it's a game changer.
Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach, joining us. So the Pac-12 championships Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week at Eugene Country Club. More details, GoDucks.com. come on out and support this team, huh?
Please.
It's going to be a good time. I want to ask you about that in a moment, but first, back in time. Talking about Augusta.
Yes.
He was kind enough, by the way, to join us. Coach Radley was on the baseball broadcast after throwing out the first pitch, which was a perfect strike, by the way. Well done. From the rubber.
I got lucky. I was nervous.
Did you warm up?
No, I didn't. I went cold.
Oh.
I told my team,
Boy.
I don't know what's more nerve-wracking, throwing out the first pitch at PK Park or four-putting your final hole of the Masters to try to win like Scotty Scheffler. But no, it was fun, man. I just it's so fun to promote, our team, the success we've had in the Pac-12 championship.
So, but with that in mind, one thing we talked about is you and a couple of your individuals got the chance to go to Augusta.
Yes.
Tell fans the story who maybe missed it when we talked about it earlier.
So 3 years ago, Augusta had announced that they're going to start a women's amateur tournament at Augusta. Huge for ladies golf. And one of my personal goals was to always have a duck or two or multiple there, and we had 2 this year.
Cool.
So it's the top 72 players in the world. And Brianna Chacon and Cynthia Liu had represented Oregon, and so I had the privilege of going. And Brianna had actually asked me to caddy for her.
That's cool.
So I think I lost about 10 pounds that week. I used to caddy full time for my wife. That was about 12 years and 3 kids ago. But we had so much fun, and I mean, just walking that sacred ground. I mean, myself and a couple other coaches, we walked in on that Saturday. There's like 25,000 people there at Augusta supporting women's golf.
That's
and
cool.
I mean, we had tears in our eyes. It was just amazing and an experience I'll never forget, and I know they certainly won't as well.
So it's getting bigger and bigger. There's no doubt about it. And
For
I
sure.
feel like, the fact that the women's championship now is televised, you guys have a good partnership with the Golf Channel, that does a lot for the sport, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's big time. And a lot of our ducks, I would say, aspire to play professional golf after college. And so, having those events televised, the cameras in your face, it's a learning experience, and one that I'm forever grateful that they have, and it was really neat to be a part of.
So Pac-12 championships, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Tell fans about the competition level, because Ducks are sitting at number 2 in the country, but if you look at the rankings, it's like Pac-12, 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 Pac-12.
Yeah, it's super stacked. As really every year is, especially in our sport, in all sports, but especially our sport. Women's golf, typically 3 out of I would say the final 4 teams at the national championship typically are Pac-12, and so excited to have all that talent here. I mean, we have the best amateurs in the world really that are coming to play Eugene Country Club on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So can't wait to have them up. Excited to just show them around Eugene and sleep in our own beds for a change, and I have to get on a plane and go to a tournament. So it's going to be really fun.
Obvious question. How much of a benefit is it to have the Pac-12 championships on your home course?
Yeah, I think it's a huge benefit. In other sports, basketball, you go to arena, I know the fan crowds might be there, but it's always a 10-foot hoop, and the dimensions are the same. Here, I mean, it's types of grass and how cold it is or warm it is, elevation change, and so there's a lot that goes into it because we are an outside sport. So excited to have that home field advantage.
It's truly a home course advantage.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
I like home course advantage. That's unique to golf.
I
feel like home course advantage. So the benefit of hosting is big. Tell fans a little bit about like the schedule. Are teams going to get in here? They get a chance to practice Easter Sunday. Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, so everybody will start funneling in on Saturday, getting here to Eugene. And then on Sunday is really our one practice round day. Okay. So typically that's pretty common for college tournaments is we just get one practice round. So everybody will be out there. I think the tee times are between 9 and 10:30 on Sunday. So everybody will get one go around, take a bunch of notes. I heard our mascot potentially may be out on Sunday, cheering us on, taking pictures with the teams. Go Ducks. And then we're doing a little fun, I think, Easter egg hunt, too, with the teams. With it being Easter on Sunday, so that'll be really cool.
That's cool.
So they get one practice round, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll be out. First tee time is going to be right around 8:30, 9 o'clock. Just getting after it, playing. Every team plays 18 holes. So we'll kind of unique to the Pac-12 format is that we actually go in twosomes because we're only 11 teams because Utah doesn't have a women's golf team. So we go in twosomes, and it's fun. It really gives it that elite event championship style feel, and certainly going to be a good time.
Kind of ups the competition level, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
You know, the competitive juices are maybe flowing a little bit.
For sure.
Yeah,
For
that's
sure.
cool.
Can't
Derek
wait.
Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then here's hoping at the end of Wednesday you see Oregon with that low score at the top of the scorecard. What else should fans know? Anything?
Just so proud. Thankful for all the support, especially as we get ready for this event here. Jody Sykes and Aaron Wasson have just been absolute rock stars, getting everything set, all the attention to detail for this tournament to really make it special for not only our team but for all the teams coming. So just so proud of this season and can't wait to see what we do in postseason.
My last question for you is fans that want to come out. I'm planning on being out there myself, so you might see me roaming around not knowing a darn thing about what I should be doing. So this is why I'm going to ask you this question. Viewing strategies for fans at Eugene Country Club. You know this course well. How should they view? Any advice for fans that want to come out
So
and
the great
enjoy
thing about Eugene Country Club is you can get in some places where you can see multiple holes.
Yeah.
So it's not like once you go out, you're way out there. So you can see some good spots.
So this is what I did for the men's championship.
Yeah.
So I had like 3 spots where I kind
That's
of
right.
It
So you
out.
kind of rotate. There's a spot on the front and a spot on the back that you can see. But just come on out and you know, Oregon athletics is just the support that we have from this incredible fan base is second to none. And so I'm so excited to have this championship here. We normally don't play at home.
Right.
And so to have this is really special for me, but especially for our team. So can't wait to have everybody out and cheering us on.
Derek Radley, Oregon women's golf head coach. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Pac-12 championships, Eugene Country Club. More details, GoDucks.com. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks for having me, bud.
Go get them, will you?
All right, go Ducks.
There you go, head coach Derek Radley, and that's going to be a whole lot of fun. Hopefully the weather. Do your Sundance. Although I don't know, maybe he wants a little bit of who knows. Whatever, it's still a home course advantage as they were talking about. It definitely is. And remember when they had the Nationals here a few years ago when the men won it all, the women got in the final A in the playoff. And there at the end, the final rounds. Anyway, all right, we're going to talk some softball. They're down in Arizona, getting set to take on the Arizona Wildcats. Let's see, that's a 5 o'clock first pitch, and ESPN2 it is on coming up later this afternoon. We'll hear from Melyssa Lombardi coming up next after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
At Shadow Hills Country Club, our all-inclusive event pricing allows us to take care of all of the details while you enjoy your event. Our wedding garden, expansive grounds, ballroom, and meeting rooms can accommodate any size event and come complete with full catering and service staff. From weddings to business and social events, Shadow Hills offers the benefits of a resort atmosphere and the peace of a country setting just minutes from downtown Eugene. For more details, call us today or go to shadowhillsevents.com.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink.
What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum.
That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest cleaning up the air we breathe.
I didn't know the trees were so amazing.
Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb.
That's awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're not too cool for me. And in return, I reciprocate that sentiment. I'll never be too cool for you. I was a man with a plan, but now I'm a dad with a decree, and you can't take that from me. Please let it be noted that I told my job they can dock my pay. Right now, it's just too important to take you to school every day. I want to be legendary for you. I want you to puff out your chest when you go to school, the same way I do. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, Terry Johns here for Joey Mack. He's up in Seattle with baseball and a 7:05 first pitch coming up on the Oregon Sports Network. And that let's see. That is on Pac-12 networks tonight as well. So turn the sound down, listen to Joey and Jordan, and there you go. All right, softball down in Arizona, in Tucson, where I'm sure it's nice and dry and sunny and great. 5 o'clock first pitch. Let's hear from head coach Melyssa Lombardi. Get you ready.
So how have you found your group getting back into practice after the last couple of weeks, obviously trying to kind of get back on track in the win-loss column?
Yeah, no, good. I think the most important thing we can do is get right back out on the field and play. I think sometimes when you have extra days to practice, it almost, I think it's just about getting back out on the field.
So maybe a short week this week is good for you guys.
I think so.
I want to look in terms of silver linings. Again, you guys go out there to compete. You don't care that it was the top team or the second best team in the league. You're going out there to win. So I'm not here to consolation prizes kind of thing. But is there something in that, even after 6 losses, you're still 15 in RPI because you did play really good teams and you've already played really good teams, and that, yes, you're still very much contending for a regional. Like anybody who's just like a super casual observer, just like, oh, well, they're 4-8 right now. Go, yeah, you're 4-8 against the murderer's row of a schedule. So, yes, that you guys are still very much alive for a lot of things that you're looking for at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a spot last year, same type of deal. I mean, we finished 3rd in the pack, went to postseason. I think if you get too crazy, about our season, I don't think that's good. I think we just have to understand, what happened, how we learned from it, how we get better, and then move forward with it. We haven't even played our best softball yet. So
for the kids who are here for what you guys call version 1, obviously you want to learn what you need to learn from the last couple of weeks, but also there's an element of we scoff at the notion that this is like high drama. And we've been through rough stretches before. This is just a couple weekends, and we know how to fight through adversity.
For sure. This too shall pass. I mean, like I said, last year we had a couple rough weekends in a row, and it was tough. It's tough when you're in the middle of it, but you learn from it, you grow from it, you're better because of it. You're ready to handle postseason, all those good things. It just, those things, they show up later. I just think in the middle of it, it maybe doesn't feel the best.
What's been the big glaring difference between UCLA, Arizona State, and then how you guys have played the last 2 weekends? It seems like it's been the home runs and the women on base when there are the home runs hit. How do you sort of, as a pitching staff, limit the long ball for the opposing team?
Yeah, I think in this league, unfortunately, you're going to give up the long ball. It's just being minimal with it and trying, if I'm going to give it up, let's try to give up a solo and not, multiple run shots. I think it's just continuing to manage our counts. I think when we get into trouble, it's because we're not managing our counts enough. I think when we manage our counts well, you can see that we have a lot of success. So it's just being more consistent with that piece.
We've seen from this Arizona pitching staff that statistically is certainly had some tough times so far in conference play. I think all their ERAs are north of 6, but that's it. I mean, if they make it to Arizona, they got to be pretty good. So just what have you seen from this group that you'll be facing?
Yeah, just I think typical Arizona. They've got some good power, they've got speed, they've got the short game. Just same thing. I mean, every Pac-12 opponent we're playing is going to be tough. But I just think we are feeling, these last 2 weekends of the pack, and that's okay. It's part of it. There's other teams that are feeling it in spots as well. So I think if we sit and just worry about what just happened, I don't think that's going to help our cause. I think we just got to focus on what's next and learn from it. So this team's ready to go.
Offensively, a lot of the offensive production for your team has come with 2 outs. How do you sort of get women on base with 0 and 1 out on the board?
Yeah, that's if you could tell me that answer.
Do you have to do anything sort of crafty with your lineup to try to get women that have higher averages on base percentages on early in innings, and then sort of try to reset every inning like it's the first, where you would have your prototypical contact power?
I think just continuing to trust our lineup. We've switched it around, multiple times, but I think we're to a point where we're starting to feel the way it's going to be, as we continue to move forward, and just let these guys play. I think if we start having all these demands on them, it doesn't make sense. We know we need to start earlier. And when we start earlier, it obviously gives us more opportunities, more innings to work with. So I think just starting earlier in all areas.
From the pitching staff in particular, we're talking about command in particular, especially on Sunday. What have you seen by way of just in practice, how they've responded to trying to tweak that and improve that, because that's the way to avoid those multi-run home runs. That's the way to, avoid those innings that get away from you, like the 6th inning, like those multi-run home run innings.
Yeah, I think just for them to continue to manage, but then also trust people around them. We've got one of the best, I think best defense in the conference and top 10 in the nation. So, throw your different pitch combos and let the people behind you do the rest.
You're the pitching expert. How do you go about trying to make an up-ball pitcher like Stevie induce more ground balls during a season? Or is that something that you feel like, we got to deal with that in like July and August and the fall, and that's an off-season experiment? Or is that something you can actually try to do in the course of a month?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, whether it's a ground ball or whether it's a pop-up, it's just extension. So not allowing the hitter to have extension. When they have extension and the ball's up, it tends to travel a little bit further, So it's just, I think your pitchers, they are who they are, whether they're up ball pitchers, down ball pitchers. It's just being, like I said, managing your counts better and understanding what you're wanting to do, like what's the outcome that you're trying to get with the pitch.
There you go, head coach Melyssa Lombardi. 5 o'clock first pitch coming up tonight, ESPN2. Tomorrow also at 5, by the way, from Tucson. That's on ESPNU. And Saturday at noon, Pac-12 Networks. Hannah Delgado hanging out in center field most of the time this season, and let's hear from Hannah.
Going back to last weekend a little bit of a change from Saturday to Sunday, in that you go from one at bat where you get really they play to your percentages in your favor. All right, it goes against you. The next day you turn around and come back and come through with a couple of hits. What was the adjustment that you went about over the course of the weekend?
I think just staying relaxed. I think I was a little tense, and just trying to do something different, not repeating the same thing over and over. And I wanted to go back to making it hard for them to get me out, and I think I just really pushed myself to do that, and that's what allowed me to do what I did on Sunday.
How much of that has to come with, again, you showed this as a freshman, obviously just natural, and great natural talents do that. But the difficulty of the league, and that you go through it last year, you're going through it, you're halfway through it this year, that is a massive challenge. The day-to-day aspect, that these pitchers have seen you, that they have that much more tape on you, and that the in-game adjustment battle is really the challenge of what this game becomes for you.
I will say it's very frustrating. There are points I have had a lot of frustration, but I think, like I said, it's going back to keeping it simple and knowing who I am and what I can do and believing in my abilities, and I think that's just what I need to focus on.
It was like coming back from the last couple weekends and obviously taking some losses, but against some high-caliber opponents. What do you feel like you took out of those couple series? What did the team take out of those series to try to build on?
I feel like we knew that we were right there, so it was really tough for us the past couple weekends, but I think just believing in ourselves and knowing who we are too, and that we're going to start winning again is the biggest thing for us, and to continue writing out the process, I think.
Do you still feel like this is a confident group?
Yes, 1,000%. Yeah.
You had a chance to take a look at Arizona's pitchers just yet?
Yes.
What have you seen so far? Obviously, they're statistically speaking, they're struggling a little bit so far in league play, but what have you seen from that group?
I wouldn't downplay anyone, definitely, but I think just us going in and trusting our plan, I think we'll do just fine against them, and I think we're excited to get out there this weekend and really confident still.
You do the scouting throughout the week on the pitchers, but getting in the box tangibly, how much does that change your approach? Seeing a pitcher for the second, third time through, how much does it help you?
Looking at film is really good, but I also think for me, myself, I like to focus on one at-bat at a time. Sometimes I go up there having a different plan each at-bat, but I just think knowing what they're going to give me and what I can do with that certain pitch really allows me to do what I do.
How have you, I say just adjusted to, but the reality of being the everyday center fielder? I mean, you were in left field before, yes, but there must be you feel some kind of way in that you know that Haley was there, and she was there for a long time. I know she played a little bit of right field, but she was basically center field every day for you guys. What is that, just taking in that role, been like this year?
It's been great. I love it. It's really grown on me, especially being an infielder my entire life. I love outfield now, and I look up to Haley a lot, and I always have. So I think it's just finding that I'm like really versatile out there, and knowing that I can help my team out there is really good.
that's a similarity between both you and Jazz, natural infielders that went out to the grass. Have you guys sort of worked with each other to help each other transition to the outfield?
We just communicate a lot out there. Because she's now just coming in like really new, I try and help her out as much as possible, but she just has natural talent out there, I think. But yeah, I think communication between the two of us is the biggest key.
Is there any specific nuggets that you've given to her?
Honestly, not really. Like, she's caught on to it pretty quickly. Like I said, it's just natural. Like, if I see a ball that's hitting the gap, I know that I can trust that she's going to dive, or I can dive it and she'll be behind me, or to the line, I know she's going to get pretty much all of the balls I've seen in practice and in the games.
Like when she makes a play on that ball going back against the wall at UCLA, like, are you like, you're new to this, it's supposed to be harder than that?
No, that's what I'm saying. She just has natural talent out there. Like, I trust her wholeheartedly, and I think that's really good. And I know that she's always going to have my back, and I'll have hers.
There you go, Hannah Delgado, outfielder. We got to move along here. We're going to try and get in Chase Cota. Yeah, Chad's son. Back, transferred from UCLA. We'll hear from him next on Duck Insider. After this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear gas prices, Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. That says it all. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimate CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
After 2 years of construction, my wife and I finally moved into our dream home. So when a bathtub fixture broke, causing major water damage, I was glad we had the home insurance protection we needed. How do you know your home is protected? Talk to a Country Financial rep like me, Nick Simon. We can help you understand your options and select coverages to meet your needs. Then if something happens to your home, you won't have any surprises. Need the right coverage for your home but not sure where to start? Visit TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Dear gas prices, Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. That says it all. Toyota hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimate CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Duck Insider, your home for the latest news on Oregon athletics on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too. Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and experiences connect through conversation, and it feels good.
This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too. Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together. Start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
When you went car shopping, you meant business. You aced vehicle history searches and test drives. You out-salesmaned the salesman. Now you've got your wheels. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. With 401k tips and smart saving strategies, you'll have the info you need to get more for your future. Go to aceyourretirement.org, because when it comes to speeding past financial challenges, you're an ace. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Country Financial Studio. Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Terry for Joey, up with baseball. And we're going to talk football. Chase Cota, Brady Breeze's cousin, his dad, Chad, of course, a Hall of Famer here at Oregon, played in the NFL. Let's hear from Chase.
Was this when you entered the portal and Oregon, I'm sure, reached out? Was it a tough decision, or was this just kind of an opportunity to fulfill maybe a lifelong dream to play for the Ducks?
Yeah, no, it was definitely still a tough decision because it was like, as much as it'd be great to come back home, which I ended up doing and playing for the Ducks as I grew up a Duck fan, it was also just like the best spot for my last year of college football, just kind of where I thought I could fit in the best and have an impact and set myself up for success.
What was it about Oregon that made you think that you could fit in the best here?
Yeah, so I really like Coach Adams and Coach Dillingham. I thought just my communication with them and hearing what they had to say about the offense and the opportunity just sounded really good. And then it's not like I came here because there's no receivers. There's a bunch of really good receivers. So just to be in a really good room and think that I can help enhance it is the experience I wanted to be in. Yeah.
You're the oldest guy in that wide receiver room.
Yeah, me and Crocker were the standing soldiers from 2018. Yeah.
What's that been like for you? Have people kind of almost looked up to you, or have you taken on that leadership role? Have you just kind of gone in there? done your business as you normally have?
Yeah, the first couple practices, I was still learning. I was a little behind all the younger guys even, but now that I'm up to speed and I know everything, I would say they're definitely, I'm leaning on them and they're leaning on me too, but I definitely think that I'm helping the guys out a little bit, and whenever they have a question or something, or maybe they're down or if they're tired because they're younger and they haven't gone through this as much, then I feel like they can lean on me and they see me like standing strong or whatever. And I think there's a lot of benefit to being one of the oldest guys for sure.
Is that a tough balancing act at all, being one of the new guys in the program, but also being one of the veterans at your position and trying to lead everyone, but also while learning the new group?
Yeah, it's interesting, but I kind of knew that. I just knew that's what I was coming into, and I knew it would be different. But they already have their roles. Like they had the first couple practices and walkthroughs all winter, so they kind of have their spots and they're comfortable with where they're at. But now I feel like I'm up to speed, and now I'm kind of taking on that leadership role and helping them out. But like I said, they're helping me out too. It's just I feel like it's a really good room for sure.
What do you provide on the field that I'm not going to say that the other guys don't have, but what do you provide the team?
I think I'm just like a good big physical receiver that can go out. I can run a lot of different routes, I think, now, especially being an older guy. And I'm good because I feel like they can move me into the slot and the outside and kind of wherever they see best fit, given like the defense we're going against. And just that I've made some plays over the years somewhere else. They have some confidence in me, putting me out there.
What was it like facing? I know you said you grew up an Oregon fan. Obviously, your dad played here. Your Brady played here.
Mm-hmm.
Going against the Ducks, was that just sort of strange? Is that a game you circled in the calendar at UCLA?
I wouldn't say I circled it, but it was interesting. I got to play up here at Autzen twice. Yeah. So first time it was super cool. Like the whole fam was here, and I was actually going against Brady on the punt team. So he was lined up over me, and so we got some one-on-ones together, which was fun. But then the second time playing up here with no fans is kind of weird, but it was still a fun time. And then this last season they got us there at the very end. I'm just definitely glad to be up here and playing against them, and also getting recruited with some of the same guys. It's like because of all that, they all know me and I know all them. So I came into a locker room where I feel like I have a really good camaraderie connection with everyone already.
Ty said a couple weeks ago, I think it was, that he was amazed with how quickly you picked up everything. It was like second or third practice, and you seemed to kind of just know exactly what you're doing with the playbook. What was that process like for you? Diving into the playbook, getting to know all the terminology and everything like that.
Yeah, well, I was doing some FaceTimes or some Zooms with Coach Lockett, just making sure I knew everything like the last week leading up to coming in here, which then, you're not on the field and you're not in a practice where you don't know where you're going every period and stuff, so it took 2 to get used to it. And after that, it's there's different names, but offenses are kind of all the same, so it's as soon as you know the name, it's that's the same play we had at UCLA, just a different name and stuff. So I feel like learning into college offense before and then just having it be the same thing, just different names, made it really easy. It's where my first spring when I went in and freshman year at UCLA, it took a lot longer for sure.
Your fellow wide receiver, Seven McGee, he's made the change into wide receiver from running back. Can you talk about what impressed you from him, anything that you didn't expect from him, in position drills?
Yeah, nothing I wouldn't expect. He's just explosive and looks really good, and then it's cool because we haven't done a whole lot of stuff yet, but I'd assume we'd be able to put him back in the backfield and give him some carries and everything. So I think that just having him as that guy, kind of like the Anthony Thomas back in the day, to where it's you can kind of do whatever with him, and put the defense in a bind for whatever rotation they want to have out. And like I say, he's explosive. He can make plays down the field, and he can make good cuts on the inside. He's a really good player.
There you go, Chase Cota, who addressed the media for the first time. And back where he belongs, right? In an Oregon uniform. That's where a Cota belongs. And some good stuff from him. Good to hear from him. All right, coming up, we'll wrap it up. By the way, no show tomorrow because of baseball. I want to remind you about that. The 2:05 pitch tomorrow up in Seattle and a 1:50 pregame. So no Duck Insider tomorrow. We'll wrap it up after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Money isn't interested in the fact that you dream of going to Greece. And it doesn't pace at night wondering how you'll pay for braces 3 times. The point is, money without people is just money. Only people can use it to run the family ranch, buy their first house, or adopt a happy old dog. To us, the powerful thing about money isn't money at all. It's helping you harness the power of yours. On Point. People are the point. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
This is Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Look out, world, we're getting strong. The future's here and we belong. She can STEM, she can do more. Like build a rocket and watch it soar. Or clean the oceans and make the world a better place. Oh, she can STEM, so can you. Find a cure, invent something new. There's no challenge in the world that she can't face. She can STEM. Learn more at She Can STEM. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Alrighty, it's a Thursday, but this will wrap up the week, at least for Duck Insider. Again, no Duck Insider tomorrow is Joey Mack and Jordan Brenner. We'll be up at, what do they call that, the Husky baseball field or something like that? Whatever. It's up in Seattle. And actually, the weather, I looked at the weather earlier, it looks fairly dry. So hopefully they're going to get something in, at least tonight. 7:05 first pitch, and Joey Mack and Jordan will have the pregame show, I assume, at 1:50. They usually do 15 minutes coming up. Tomorrow at 2:05 first pitch, Pac-12 Network, all 3 days. And at 2:05 first pitch tomorrow, no show. And Saturday, 2:05 first pitch. Although Saturday it says Pac-12 Washington, so you may have to go on the stream. Won't be the full network. Softball down in Arizona, taking on number 25 ranked Arizona, 5 o'clock this afternoon. First pitch, ESPN2. You can catch that. Of course, the guys from KWVA are down there as well. Tomorrow, 5 p.m., it's on ESPNU. And then Pac-12 Network for a noon first pitch on Saturday. Track and field, Mount Sac relays going on USA TF.TV. You can check that out. Saturdays, though, is CNBC for a couple of hours, I think. And also the Brian Clay Invitational. That's Pathlon decathletes are down there, both in California, Walnut, California, and Azusa. Men's tennis today and Sunday here in Eugene against Arizona State, Eastern Washington as well. Volleyball, they are at Seattle. Lacrosse here in Eugene. And the weekend's coming up early. Bye.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. That's right. They can help save lives by simply washing their hands. Just 20 seconds of thorough hand washing after they've coughed or sneezed or been outside can help fight against the dastardly spread of germs. Armed with only soap and water and hands, your superhero can protect you, your family, and everyone out there in America land. Amazing! Find out more at coronavirus.gov.